This is Campus News, reporting the top stories from colleges and universities.
Next on Campus News, a group of young men put education on hold in exchange for their share of North Dakota's oil fortune.
3 NDSU students saddle up to prepare for a national competition.
Runners at NDSU get some extra motivation to reach the finish line. We'll show you how the dead are keeping things lively.
But first, one of the richest men on earth visits Concordia College. Good morning and welcome to Campus News. I'm Chelsea Smith.
And I'm Ezra Vandeneindy. Bill Gates came to Concordia College to help dedicate its new School of Business.
Gates answered questions from students and offered advice on how to lead a fulfilling life while giving back to others.
Please help me welcome Bill Gates.
Microsoft chairman, multi-billionaire, and worldwide philanthropist. It's safe to say Bill Gates is an influential business leader.
I view all the things that I learned at Microsoft as really just preparing me, as well as providing the resources to do the work that I do now.
That work being the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, helping with serious world problems such as malaria and AIDS.
I decided to focus more on giving away than making money. And so I've gotten a chance to travel the world, be out in Africa and Asia quite a bit, and see the needs that are out there.
Pretty influential, just seeing the things he does around the world, and his 2 career paths, and it was just kind of being able to see someone of his stature and being able to witness that in person was a pretty cool experience.
Some students even had the opportunity to ask Gates questions, ranging from world issues to future career concerns.
What advice would you give to students like myself who are excited about entering the field of education?
Gates had some encouraging words for students to inspire them for the future.
I think the opportunity for innovation for all of you as you go out and pick your careers in the years ahead are probably greater than ever. But having your eyes open to the great needs of the world, including the needs of the poorest, I think will help you pick the thing that's most fulfilling for you.
Since 2000, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has donated more than $500 million in education scholarships across the U.S.
The loss of a former MSU Moorhead professor and trusted voice in the Fargo-Moorhead area brought many people together last week. Marv Bossert passed away on April 23rd after a long battle with Parkinson's disease. After his funeral last week, friends and family gathered at MSUM to share memories. Many said he was an incredible mentor and a caring man who loved sharing his passion for the news with his colleagues and students.
I used to guest lecture in his classes, and I could see the respect they had for him and how much they enjoyed his classes, because Marv really let his personality out there.
Marv worked at WDAY in Fargo for 42 years and taught broadcast journalism at MSUM for over 30. He passed away at the age of 79.
Minnesota legislators are expected to vote soon on a bill that could legalize gay marriage in the state. With a Democratic majority in both the House and Senate, as well as a Democratic governor, many legislators are pushing this issue now more than ever.
This has MSU Moorhead students on both sides of the debate talking. Reporter Arisa De Serrano has more.
Katie Bullock and Jesse Wachewski have been together for 8 months and are one of many couples hoping to see Minnesota legalize same-sex marriage.
I like Minnesota a lot. I would, maybe like to be able to get married here someday. So the possibility that could be happening is pretty exciting. I think that everyone has the, obviously, right to believe in what they want. I just think that, one person's belief shouldn't take away the rights of everyone else.
Student Raisha Tolliver Kennedy's lesbian grandmother Myra, who is on the right, has been with her partner Cindy for 16 years, and they wish to get married.
So I'm kind of rooting for her because that's my grandma and I love her, and I want her to be happy and want her to reach that point of I can do what you can do.
Sophomore Isaac Sievely says his Christian faith influences his decision to support more traditional marriages.
My life, I guess, would just all come down to my Christian faith. When I became a Christian, my life was changed. I had a lot of different views before, but I've just seen what the Bible has done in my life, and I would want other people to have that same relationship I have.
Sievely points to Corinthians 6:9, which refers to same-sex relationships, among other things.
Do you not know that the wicked will not inherit the kingdom of God? I treat them the same, and it's not that I have anything necessarily against them as people, but if I see that as being a way that creates separation between them and God, I don't want to encourage that at all.
Even though these two sides will not see eye to eye, Minnesotans like Myra and Cindy, and Katie and Jesse will still keep hoping to see their future plans include marriage in Minnesota. Aricida Serrano, Campus News.
As Minnesota lawmakers prepare for a vote on gay marriage, North Dakota's legislature has reignited debate on another controversial subject.
The state recently made national news with its strict new anti-abortion laws. Reporter Brianne Lensmeyer tells us how students at MSUM are weighing in on the conversation over abortion.
More than 100 students came to the Comstock Memorial Union to hear both the pro-life supporters
afford that unborn child the same protections legally that we would you and I or anyone else.
And the pro-choice supporters
that women should be able to control what happens to their bodies without outside sources.
Share their views on if abortion is a woman's right or not.
It's not just fighting anymore, it's actually discussion.
The debate gave both sides an opportunity to share their views and to take questions from the audience.
How then is that not an act of oppression against women?
The two sides may differ on their views on abortion, but there is one thing they could agree on.
I hope it made people do some critical thinking.
They can now have two different sides and understand the facts and the opinions of both sides and form their own opinions.
While pro-choice supporters have protested the laws, Collegians for Life sponsored Life Week in an effort, they say, to bring awareness to students about respecting all aspects of life. With photographer Allison Smith, Brianne Lensmeyer, Campus News.
One of North Dakota's new laws bans abortions when a heartbeat is detected. The other bans abortions solely based on gender selection or genetic defects. Opponents believe the laws will not stand up on appeal.
Studies and stress go hand in hand for many college students. The University of California, Berkeley is now saying some of that stress may not be so bad after all. The school performed research on rats and discovered that up to a certain point, stress boosts cognitive function. It also caused growth of new cells that deal with memory function. 2 weeks after the tests, the rats' memories improved, showing the stress made them smarter. So far, this test has only been conducted with rats.
Going to college right after high school may be the norm for many, but for a group of guys in Tioga, North Dakota, working in the oil fields sounded more appealing. Reporter Becca Liebach has the story.
It may look like any other game of catch, but these guys are trying to hit a home run by making a living in the oil fields. Daniel Alvarez, born and raised in Arizona, had a scholarship to play baseball in college. He thought he had things figured out.
I got hurt. I got tendonitis in my elbow, and my uncle told me that they were making money up here, so I came over here to make some money.
Daniel wasn't the only one with this idea.
The water's frozen.
Joshua from Florida moved out of home as soon as he could.
Rather come and make money.
But going to college is something that still weighs heavily in their minds.
So many different things that I can do.
Back in college and playing ball again. Yeah, because my arm healed up, so I'm ready to go back. You know.
However, by the looks of it, the living arrangements up here don't look any different than a normal college house.
The smell from everybody. You got 7 guys you got to share the house with.
A big difference, though, is the price. Each guy pays a whopping $1,200 a month to live in this house.
Oh, no, it's not bad. It's pretty clean right now, but it's a mess in there.
After long days of continuous labor, these guys still find a way to smile and laugh because they know one thing.
Yeah, money in the bank.
Money in the bank to help pay for their futures. Rebecca Liebach, Campus News.
Oil workers in western North Dakota make an average of $100,000 a year.
While many are working hard in the oil fields, one lucky student from England will be making his money doing something a bit less strenuous. He'll be testing water slides. 22-year-old University of Leeds student Seb Smith was selected by First Choice, a resort travel company, to test water slides worldwide. He will get paid more than $30,000 for this job. Smith was selected from 2,000 applicants and had to compete against 5 finalists to get the position. He will test the slides for splash size and adrenaline factor.
After months of snow, the sun came out just in time for the Earth Week celebration at MSU Moorhead. The newly added Office of Sustainability hosted the event on campus to raise awareness for a more eco-friendly campus. Different community organizations had tables to teach students how to live sustainable lives.
One of the easiest things to do is recycling. But I think one of the big things is just talking to your peers, because when you talk to your peers about being sustainable and living green, that's what I think has the biggest impact.
The event featured different bands as well as free organic bison burgers.
A new machine on the campus of MSU Moorhead is giving both students and athletes a way to study and improve their health. The Bod Pod is a new $20,000 machine used by health and physical education students at MSUM to study and learn more about human physiology. The Bod Pod's primary function is to measure body fat percentage based on your height, weight, age, and gender. After 3 40-second tests, your results are printed out.
One, it gives you a baseline, kind of lets you know where the student is, where the client is, where the athlete is as far as their current body composition. And then based on that, you can design an exercise program, a nutrition program.
NDSU's Wellness Center is the only other location in Fargo-Moorhead with a Bod Pod.
MSU Moorhead held its first ever Stop Rape Slut Walk. The goal was to wear a bit less so people could learn a bit more about the stereotype that's often put on victims of sexual violence. Reporter Cassie Cowler has the story.
MSUM students and faculty marched, chanted, and even dressed up for the march. The Slut Walk marchers were encouraged to wear skimpy, provocative outfits to send a message.
It's not okay for women to have to be blamed because they were drunk or it's what they were wearing. Nobody deserves to get raped. Nobody deserves to get harassed.
The first Slut Walk started in Toronto after a police officer called a woman who was sexually assaulted a slut for her choice of clothing. Now, the walk has spread around the world. One Slut Walk organizer, Katie Bullock, has a story to tell that makes the walk meaningful to her.
I was raped last year and I didn't report it because I was drunk and I knew the reaction was going to be, you shouldn't have been drinking with him, you shouldn't have done this or that. But, regardless, it was still rape because I did not consent and I was also very much under the influence.
For far too many, this walk hit close to home.
I have 6 sisters and all 6 of them have been sexually accosted.
So this is
all 6 of them, some of them multiple times.
So this means important to you, right?
It does, it means a lot.
For every step this group makes, their message is what women wear is no excuse for rape. Cassie Cowler, Campus News.
While participants were encouraged to dress provocatively, they didn't have to. Anyone was welcome to walk in support of the group.
When hearing the word pi, most math professors probably think of the number 3.14. But one event at MSUM gave math teachers a new taste of the word. For $2, students got a pie to throw at one of 6 math professors. From hard throws in the face to pie being dumped on their head, professors spent a couple hours in a Cool Whip frenzy. But it's all for a good cause. The money raised goes to the math club for activity expenses. This is the 4th year the club has hosted the event. Between pies in the face and slices of pie sold, this year the group has raised more than $300.
A U of M student is getting a chance to buy one of Google's newest innovations. Google selected 8,000 people to be the first to buy new Google Glass through a competition on Twitter. Twitter users were chosen by sharing what they would do with Google Glass, which are glasses that basically act as a smartphone. U of M student George Anthony, an orientation leader, tweeted, "I'd show how fun it'll be to welcome 5,500 first-year students to the Twin Cities at the UMN campus." He was then chosen as a winner. Anthony has the chance to buy Google Glass for $1,500.
While most people meet new friends, a group of NDSU students are making ones, literally. Reporter Jackie Oman has more on their new cuddly buddies.
This may look like an ordinary college union, but downstairs, there's a whole lot of monkey business taking place. Students under the union have fun while enjoying the little furry things in life.
I like it so far. I never knew you would get a free teddy bear.
NDSU brings events to their students and allows them to hang out in the union even after the sun sets. College students are encouraged to find safe ways to spend their weekends, and events are put in place so students can have fun while staying on campus. John Lynch, a NDSU student and concert coordinator, volunteered at one of the events. Build-A-Buddy.
I made a bison. That was probably my favorite one. That or the one of the polar bears is probably a cute one too.
Making little stuffed animals isn't only fun for little children. College students say they too had fun stuffing their animals and giving them names.
It's a fat monkey and I named it Diabetes.
Students were allowed to pick any available animal that they wanted. like this monkey, and a bag of stuffing, and just start packing away.
This is probably one of the ones we get the most people at. It's just one, people keep coming, so we'll keep doing it.
These events are allowing NDSU students to find ways to relax after a long, hard week of classes.
As alternatives for students that don't want to go out and party, don't want to go out and drink.
So whether students made stuffed animals for themselves or someone else,
I thought about this special girl, but like, turns out she doesn't like me.
they know that they can have fun while staying out of trouble. With photographer Hannah Corey, Jackie Oman, Campus News.
The group MU Live organizes Friday night events throughout the year, including movies, bingo, and roller rink night.
Fargo Moorhead is a hotbed for Northern European ancestry, and one group from Concordia recently celebrated theirs. The German club decided to share its heritage with the rest of the community by hosting German Fest. The event allowed people of all ages to explore traditional German food and lifestyle. The students put on skits for those who wanted to interact with the culture. They also served German food like sausage and sauerkraut.
An MSU Art and Design graduate's work is being shown on the big screen at the Minneapolis International Film Festival. Carrie Pickett's film, The Fabulous Ice Age, is about the history of figure skating. Pickett's film chronicles a century of theatrical skating. The film features never-before-seen footage, photos, and rare archival material of skaters, producers, and entrepreneurs. Pickett is an award-winning photographer whose work has been shown worldwide.
3 NDSU students are preparing for a national championship. And as reporter Noor Alamran shows us, this competition involves working closely with a partner who always lets them take the reins.
It's a daunting task trying to maneuver a 1,000-pound animal. It takes practice, patience, and control.
There you go. Good.
At the NDSU Equine Center, the equestrian team practices guiding a horse with elegance and grace.
This is Dot, one of the many horses that helped these students practice for the national championship. However, she will not be going along.
So the girls will go, they'll draw a horse out of a hat, and that's the horse they ride. They don't get warm-up time on that horse, they get on and they go in and show. So really it displays their riding abilities, not necessarily your placings based on the horse that you have.
These 3 NDSU ladies are heading to the national championship.
Something we've worked towards, goal to be competitive.
Practicing whenever they can.
They practice, they've been practicing 3 times a week, an hour to an hour and a half every night.
This is something they've been waiting for.
I'm very excited. It's my first time going. Scary, but it's well worth it. It's so much fun. I'm super, super excited.
These horse riders have devoted their time, dedication, and affection in hopes of winning the national championship.
The girls have been exceptional this year. You know, it's nice to show up and have such dedicated team members that are willing to put in the hard work and time that it takes to be successful.
Horse riding is a passion to these students, one that will live on for a lifetime.
I will ride horses till the doctor tells me I can't, and maybe even a little after.
With photographer Stian McCulson. Noor Alamran, Campus News.
The national championship is being held right now in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And now we turn it over to Colin Boyles for a look at this week's sports.
So some athletes are thinking twice before tweeting these days.
Yeah, MSUM is really holding them to a higher standard when it comes to social media. With the popularity of Twitter and Facebook, student athletes are being judged with every tweet, post, and photo they share. Reporter Kenny Buck explains how MSUM aims to teach them right from wrong in the social media world.
To tweet or not to tweet? That is the question that Dragon athletes must ask themselves. Whether it's Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, student athletes are put under a microscope when it comes to what they say through social media.
Think before you send. When I'm either putting a Facebook post or tweeting something, I definitely think about how I said it and what it's applying to.
So it's really nice to be able to reach out that way.
Assistant AD for Marketing and Production, John Webking, gives a presentation to each team on the do's and don'ts of social media and says they not only represent themselves, but the school as a whole.
Being a student athlete is a privilege for these students, that they get to be a part of this team, and in order to be a part of that team, they have to represent them well on and off the field or court or surface of competition.
After long battles on the field and grueling games on the court, student athletes step onto a new battlefield: social media.
You know, everything we put is a representation of the whole university, and we need to be mindful of that.
Mindful of who they are and what they represent. Kenny Buck, Campus News.
MSUM is currently in the draft stages of a social media policy. John Webkin says it won't focus so much on rules, but more on the education of proper ways to use social media. After last season's trip to a consecutive national title, NDSU players and coaches are ready to make it a three-peat. The Bison kicked off the annual Green and Gold game by receiving their championship rings. Once the game started, the defense, which carried the team during last year's run, looked sharp. They picked off quarterback Brock Jensen twice on back-to-back plays. Coach Craig Bowl was pleased to see the execution from the secondary.
I think is important. You know, it certainly wasn't as polished as what every coach would hope, but I think we saw some good things out there. So I was encouraged about today's practice and overall encouraged about our spring.
The offense came to life near the end of the first half and continued to improve through the rest of the game. Backup quarterback Carson Wentz showed some of his skills in the second half, including 2 nice throws over the middle, leading to big gains. The defense beat the offense for the 3rd straight year, 27-16. One of NDSU's less mainstream sports has been building a rivalry with one of the toughest teams in the area. Sam Morse brings us inside the matchup between 2 of Division II's best lacrosse teams.
Lacrosse is the fastest growing sport in the nation, and as the sport grows, so does the rivalries.
In here knowing this is what we're trying to do, it doesn't help us at all.
Head coach Zach Bosch is excited with the young group of kids he has this year and is looking forward to motivating them to take down the #1 ranked St. Thomas.
It's a good rivalry. I think it's probably better for us than it is for them just because, you know, that's what we're trying to attain and get to.
Due to the weather, the game was relocated 3 times, but both teams were pumped to be playing inside the Metrodome.
All right, you guys, listen up here. I'm telling you guys, key to this game, okay? Key to this game right here is to make sure you guys stay together as a team.
Both teams came out firing, and at half, NDSU was only trailing by 1.
Okay, own those people. This is what you want, own them. All right, you guys got that? Yeah. The rest of you guys, when they're dodging behind right here, we need a slice cut.
Played tough for the first half, and a couple mental breakdowns in the second half really cost us and got them onto a lead. We weren't able to put the shots away that we had. I mean, it was a 10-4 game, but really the game was a little bit closer than that, I think so. It's got to be yours.
NDSU has yet to take down St. Thomas, but that's not going to stop their motivation to win.
Next cut. On Michigan, it's 92.
Sam Morse, Campus News.
NDSU is currently ranked 13th in the nation and will be playing in the National Division II tournament in Greenville, South Carolina. When North Dakota State University's new assistant track coach visits his home in the Bahamas, almost everyone knows his name. He even signs autographs. This is because Trevor Berry has a skill set unmatched by many. He represented the Bahamas in the 2012 Olympics and is bringing that experience to the athletes of NDSU.
It's always awesome to represent the country, you know. You have a whole country behind you, pushing you along, you know. When you come home, walking to the airport, everyone knows you by name. You know, it's a great feeling.
Berry did not make it past the first round at the London Olympics. He did say one of his most memorable moments was getting to meet NBA guard Kobe Bryant. Soccer may not be the #1 sport in the country, but it does have a sizable following in Fargo-Moorhead. Reporter Narjis Al-Bakshi takes us to the soccer hub of the area.
The Metro Rec Center is home to an indoor soccer facility where many students practice their favorite sport. The complex is where fierce competition, dedication, and skill take place between 5 divisions, totaling up to 40 teams. Diversity is reflected in the names of the teams, which include FC Bosnia, Iraqi Tigers, and the Chefs.
We call ourselves the Chefs because we cook up a whooping. It's a culture of a melting pot, like just a blend of people from different countries.
The captain of the Chefs has been coordinating indoor and outdoor soccer games for almost 5 years. Okoye, who goes by the nickname Chewy Chew, is an NDSU engineering student. However, engineering isn't his only interest.
Soccer, or football like the rest of the world likes to call it, It's just a passion for me.
An ironic aspect of Chu's role as the chef's captain is,
when it came to soccer, the kids wouldn't pick me.
unfortunately for them, the team lost against their rivals, United FC, and won't be making it to the final round. Despite their loss, Chewy Chu is still positive and full of team spirit.
I've made good friendships. You know, some people on the team have taught me what it means to like really put your all in there.
With photographer Noor Lamran, Narjis Al-Bakshi, Campus News.
For more information about the soccer teams and how to join, go to www.tricitystorm.org. So you guys interested in starting a team with me?
That sounds like a good time. Are you guys any good?
Not at soccer, no. Thanks, Colin. Imagine flag football mixed with Michael Jackson's Thriller music video. That was the scene at the first ever zombie run held in Fargo. Reporter Jenna Weinberger tells us more about the race.
With shrieking zombies and terrified runners, it's easy to see that this is no ordinary race. The goal is simply to survive. Every participant is given 2 flags that are their lifelines throughout the race. When the flags are gone, so are the runners.
If you get both your flags taken, you did not survive the FM zombie run.
This is the first zombie run in the Fargo Moorhead area. It was put on by the Bison Battalion, and the funds are put towards the Army ROTC at North Dakota State University.
You know, it was intense. They were like, they'd jog after you and then they'd just sprint and you'd be like, what is going on?
Winger was able to escape with a flag, a lifeline for the participants.
They went after me right away, so I had to kind of like stiff arm them.
The race left Winger with one last question.
You want to do that again?
With photographer Ben Gumringer, Jenna Weinberger, Campus News.
The race coordinators are planning the next zombie run on Halloween. And that's it for this edition of Campus News, and it's also our last newscast of the season.
We leave you with another look at MSUM's Earth Day celebrations.
Thanks for joining us and have a great summer. We'll see you next year.
Campus News was produced by the Television News Workshop in the Department of Mass Communications at Minnesota State University Moorhead in cooperation with Prairie Public Television.